What's going on, guys? This is the Freakin Blah podcast. You may be wondering what happened to my face. It's still here. But due to a series of unfortunate events, we've had to go radio style, podcast style, for the foreseeable future. This is something I kind of been playing around with the idea of doing anyway, to give me a little more birth, if you will, to talk about things a little more in depth, a little more detail. But yep, got my camera smashed and have had technical difficulties for about the past 3 weeks. Just constant delays. I've seen films. I will review these films. They will be late as hell, but that's okay because some of you guys might be on the fence or saving it for, watching on video at some point. So the review still might be relevant to you. So I will keep that coming. We have John Wick 2. We have The Shack, and we have Logan. Coming up here shortly. I'll try to squeeze those in this week, actually. But today is Trailer Tuesday, which means it's time for trailer talk. So let's get started. First off, I want to talk about Atomic Blonde. Atomic Blonde. The new movie starring Charlize Theron and James McAvoy, directed by David Leitch. Leitch? I butcher that guy's name every time. If you don't know, he is one of the directors of the original John Wick. The other director went on to direct John Wick 2 and will be doing the upcoming Highlander reboot if that ever gets off the ground, which I'll be interested to see that. That will be pretty sweet. David Leitch, we'll just say it's Leitch. It's Leitch. So it's somewhere around there. Leitch. He will be directing Deadpool 2. So, yeah, he's a pretty good choice, I think, for that film. He directed the Deadpool short that was before Logan and is currently on YouTube in a somewhat extended format. That is not a trailer, guys. That is not a trailer for Deadpool 2. It's driving me crazy looking at YouTube and seeing all the Deadpool 2 things. It's not a trailer for Deadpool 2. It is a short. Think of the Pixar shorts that happened before, like the Pixar movies, where it's just, it's a little encased story. It's a short. It's a Deadpool short. It's not a trailer. You're not having anything spoiled in Deadpool 2 watching it. It's just to give you a taste and to remind you that, yes, Deadpool 2 is coming, and this is what it will probably look like. I may do a review of that as well, but anyway, since it's not a trailer, I'm not going to talk about that today on Trailer Tuesday. I'm going to start with Atomic Blonde. So I watched the preview for Atomic Blonde, and Atomic Blonde has Charlize Theron playing an undercover MI6 agent who is sent to Berlin during the Cold War to investigate the murder of a fellow agent and recover a missing list of double agents. Dun, dun, dun. Excuse me. And I want to be really excited about this, guys, and I'm watching the trailer, and it looks kinetic, and it looks, the action looks really sharp, but something about this is, this is a comic book adaptation. I bet you didn't know that. It's based on the Oni Press graphic novel series. So this is actually a comic book film. But I'm watching it, and something about it is underwhelming me. I don't know, because you have the action and the I hate to say it, stereotypical lesbian thing, where, she's a tough chick, so obviously she has to be a lesbian. That's just, it's just to get male asses in the seats, and I don't know, man. It just strikes me as kind of fake, but they want to do what they want to do. But the premise seems kind of interesting, and the cast is really strong. I mean, you've got John Goodman in here. Like I said, James McAvoy. You got Charlize Theron, and that director. I mean, by all accounts, it should be exciting, but something about this I'm not feeling. I know that I'm the only one out there that's feeling this way right now, because everybody seems really excited about it. But this film is coming out pretty soon. It's coming out this July, July 28th, 2017, as of right now. I don't know. What do you think? I know this is a really short review because I'm watching it. I'm not something about it. I'm just not that excited. I'll see it, and hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. Sound off in the comments below if you think I'm crazy. If you're excited about it, let me know. I think that it's a, like I said, it's a modestly budget film, so I think it's has a good chance of being a pretty good size hit. But on to something that I am excited about is the Baby Driver trailer. This is the new film from Edgar Wright. It's written and directed by Edgar Wright, and it's basically about a young getaway driver who finds himself taking part in a heist that is doomed to fail. There's a love interest involved, and he wants out. And I mean, really, the whole premise of the story is kind of tired. You have a guy who's in a life of crime, and he meets a girl, and he falls in love and realizes, it takes the blinders off his eyes, and hey, there's more to life. I want to get out of this life. There's might actually be good in life, and so he wants to escape the life of crime and spend it with his new love. You want to talk about strong casts? This has a really strong cast as well. You've got John Hamm and Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx, and I mean, to me, this movie excites the hell out of me. I mean, I am seeing this preview, and I don't think I've been this excited watching a trailer I don't remember the last time, honestly. I mean, this looks really spectacular. I'm not gonna lie. This is out the next month this year. It's out in August 11th, and I'm excited. I think this movie looks great. I mean, the action scenes are kinetic. The dialogue looks it just really popping. I mean, this looks really good. I mean, to the degree that Atomic Blonde did not excite me, this movie is really exciting me. So, let me know if you're excited about this film, because I think this looks really, really, really good. You know what? Talking about Charlize Theron, let's go into the last Fate trailer. Wow. I mean, above and beyond, these guys are going. I don't even know what to say about this movie. So you're 2-part 8 in a series that keeps getting bigger and bigger every film. And it should be a surprise to no one that the point we're at in the Fast and the Furious series is pretty much like watching a superhero film at this point. And I mean, to me, that's okay. It really is. I mean, I've never really taken these movies like terribly seriously anyway, and I don't think anybody should. I mean, they're hugely, impractical and unrealistic. I mean, that's not why we go to see these films. We go to see these films because we want to see awesome action and cars crashing and racing and fast stuff and testosterone and it looks like the entire cast of this film is coming back, obviously. And in my previous trailer review to this, I was kind of worried that they were going to make Jason Statham one of the good guys, and he's going to be like, okay, and yeah, that pretty much looks like that's the way we're going. It's lame on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's Jason Statham, and he's going to be part of the team, and I'm not going to argue with watching Jason Statham in a big action film. The hacking thing, they're continuing on with the hacking thing, which they started in part 7, and the invasive nature of technology, and how far are we willing to just give up our freedoms and give up our privacy for the sake of convenience and technology and cool gadgets. And especially in light of recent revelations of the CIA's shenanigans, makes the movies, they have an underpinning of relevance that you don't really expect to see, right off the bat, out of the Fast and Furious franchise, but they are actually almost subversively trying to say something to the audience. And cars that drive themselves, there's been a big push for that here lately in tech industries, where they really, really, really want you to let the cars drive for you. And you can watch a film like this and think it's silly and write it off, but at the same time, you've got to go, well, that people can hack into any type of software, and do you really, really want a car that somebody can hack and take over. Especially in light, again, of the CIA files that say that that's how they do covert assassinations. Isn't that wonderful? But don't want to get off into that. But I'm just saying that I'm kind of impressed, with these bigger budgeted films that are trying to, they're going the extra mile and actually trying to say something to the audience and not just entertain, but do it in an entertaining way and do it in a relevant way to the story, and just kind of postulate a little bit in the same way that the Terminator series, 1 and 2, especially, pose the question of how far do you want to let AI go, and it doesn't seem that many people watch these films and take that to heart here lately, but it's true. There are risks involved, and you really need to consider them. I'm excited to see Fast and Furious 8. I don't know if you've caught the F8 Fate. Get it? Fate. The fate of the Furious. But I know that most of you are probably excited to see it. This is a huge franchise now. It's just a massive juggernaut. And, will it make as much money as Part 7? That's highly unlikely. I think that, the unfortunate death of Paul Walker kind of made that its own entity, much in the same way as the death of Heath Ledger kind of gave The Dark Knight a little extra propulsion. I mean, that movie was fantastic anyway. It would have done great anyway. But with the death of one of the stars lingering over it, it just kind of gave it an extra gravity. And I think, especially what they went through to finish Fast and Furious 7, it gave it that extra push. Because the movie itself wasn't that great. And, it was good and it was entertaining, but the tone of it was weird. And, and this is not even, talking about the changes that they had to make because of Paul Walker's death. I actually think what they pulled off was exceptionally good, considering the trouble and the heartache and all that they went through to see the film through to the finish. Oh, and Lucas Black is in this one. I like that. Lucas Black was the star of Fast and Furious 3, Tokyo Drift, which it gets a lot of hate from people, but I actually watched that movie with zero expectations on video when that came out, because I was honestly kind of underwhelmed with Fast and Furious 2, and I watched 3 just out of sheer boredom and curiosity, and was very surprised at the amount of heart and skill that was in it. And I think a lot of that is due to Justin Lin, who went on to direct every Fast and Furious movie up till 6, and he should really get a lot of the credit for building this series up to where it is now. And it'll be interesting to see if F. Gary Gray and whoever comes after him can keep that pace up. Lastly, let's talk about a real winner here. Geostorm. This is the latest film from Dean Devlin, who is just determined to convince us that global warming is going to destroy the Earth. Actually, this film, they spin it on its head. It's not the climate change that's destroying the Earth this time. It's man's attempt to control climate change that is destroying the Earth this time. I think this movie looks uproariously cheesy, but I'm hoping that this is one of those so bad it's good times at the theater. So Dean Devlin, who is, he's been the writer and producer partner of Roland Emmerich for years and years and years. And I think they recently split, and this is his directorial debut. And it stars Gerard Butler, who of course has done Olympus Has Fallen, 300, yada yada yada. We all know who that guy is. Abby Cornish, who was in Limitless and the RoboCop remake. She was really good in both of those. She's a great actress. Andy Garcia is making an appearance in this film, as well as Ed Harris. So, I mean, again, we've got a good cast. I think that this film looks like a low budget. It looks like basically a low budget ripoff of The Day After Tomorrow. mixed with 2012. And I think that this is pretty much going to be a bomb. I'm going to be honest. It's coming out in October, which is usually, you put an action film out in October, it's usually then, it's like October is the second January of the year where they kind of just dump whatever they have. And, the budget doesn't look huge on this. It might be an $80 to $100 million film. That's a guess. That's a complete guess, actually. But, you're watching it and, maybe the special effects aren't finished. Maybe they're going to put some more money into it and tweak it and get it, and keep getting that right. But, all in all, there's always room for, massive scenes of destruction. And let's see. I'm going to read the synopsis to you here. When the network of satellites designed to control the global climate start to attack Earth, it's a race against the clock to uncover the real threat before worldwide Geostorm wipes out everything and everyone. To me, it sounds like someone hacked the system, because obviously humans are always what's going to destroy the Earth, especially in a Roland Emmerich or Dean Devlin picture. Try to see what the budget is not listed, but I have more news here. Hang on. Let's see this bit of trivia here real quick. Let's see, because it looks like I might be right about this. Apparently, this is a quote from IMDb. Apparently, Geostorm underwent serious reshoots under the auspices of Jerry Bruckheimer, who was brought in as a producer capacity at a very late stage. Reportedly, these extensive reshoots were helmed by CSI alumnus Danny Cannon over a 2-week period at a cost of $15 million. So, we might have ourselves a bomb waiting to happen that's being dumped in October, like I thought. This says it was originally set for a March 25th, 2016 release. That would be a year ago. But Warner Brothers canceled that date and replaced that film, of course, with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And looks like they just pushed it back to this year, almost. Looks like that's a year and a half later. That is not a good sign. So it could be a so bad it's good movie, or it could be a so bad you should avoid it at all costs. We'll see. So you know what? I want to roll here. I want to catch up. I'm trying to catch up here. Guys, let me talk about this Wonder Woman trailer for a second. Guys, if the new Wonder Woman sucks, I'm going to be just heartbroken. This movie, with every trailer that we get, it looks more and more amazing to me. The new trailer that we have doesn't really show us a lot more to the story than what we've seen previously, but to me that's a good thing. I don't want them to give away the story. I don't want them to go the Batman v Superman route and give you every beat of the film in the damn trailer. I want it to be a mystery. I want to be able to buy the ticket not knowing what's coming. That's part of the reason I'm buying the ticket, is to see what happens. I don't want to be shown everything in the film. Conversely, we don't want to go the suicide route thing and completely mislead the audience in what's going to happen in the film, to the point that people go into the theater to see what's going to happen, what was presented in the trailer, and it not happen at all, i.e., the Joker's the bad guy, and Suicide Squad is fighting the Joker, which is completely what they sold, and, disappointed a lot of audiences. Now, again, Suicide Squad made a lot of money and entertained a lot of people, but you had one trailer that gave away the movie completely, and then you had another trailer that sold you a completely different movie than what was actually in the theater. And given all their reshoot shenanigans, that's not entirely a surprise. In all fairness, Disney did the same thing, kind of, on Star Wars Rogue One, a Star Wars story, in that the trailer 2 featured a lot of the movie that wasn't actually in the movie. But the overall tone of the story was the same, so, yeah, Point being, though, is Wonder Woman looks amazing, and it looks action packed. It looks funny. It looks intriguing. It looks engaging. All in all, I'm all in for Wonder Woman, and I am so glad. I'm so happy that I'm able to say that because I really want DC to find its footing. I really want these guys to just, blow our socks off. I mean, the way that they should be able to. I mean, they have the capacity to do it. They were the original top dogs when it came to, comic book films. If you go back to the 70s and the 80s with Superman and Batman, I mean, Marvel had almost zero cinematic presence. They had a crappy Spider-Man show. They had some decent cartoons. You had the $3 million Captain America movie and the $50 and a carton of cigarettes budget for The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, which is still a great one. Marvel didn't really even find its legs until Blade came out in the 90s. Blade was still awesome, and make a note, it was R-rated. So please knock this crap off about Deadpool being the first R-rated film. Yes, comic book movie. It was the biggest, but it was certainly not the first. That was done decades ago. All right. Well, guys, this has been my first podcast, and for the time being, I'm putting this on YouTube because it is my goal to have this be a video podcast style broadcast. So I want to keep this on YouTube, and I am working on getting a new setup, and I will be doing this for the foreseeable future until that new setup is complete and I'm able to show off the new digs. I don't know how much time that'll be. It could be a month, 2 months, could be 6 months, but I will keep this coming. I will keep the commentary coming. I will talk to you, you'll talk to me, because Blah Freakin Blah is where movie talk starts. And talk for the films start with trailer talk. So here we are. We've discussed it. I didn't go into a lot of detail on these films, into these trailers. I kind of gave some thoughts on it. But I want to know what you think about these trailers. Let me know, if you're excited to see it, if you think it's going to be crap. We've got, today, Baby Driver is going to be awesome. Atomic Blonde, maybe. Geostorm, woo! The Fate of the Furious, it'll be massive regardless of whether it sucks or not. And there's a ton of other good movies, or hopefully good movies, coming out in 2017, and there's a ton of trailers that I want to talk about. So I'm going to really work hard to put together some more commentary and come at you guys and do a lot of catching up over the next couple weeks, because what do we got? God, we got, Pirates of the Caribbean. Is Disney going to finally have a May hit, or is it going to fall in line with their other May bombs? I'll give you a guess. I'm thinking it's going to be one of those May bombs. May is Disney's kryptonite. But I'm not going to get off into that right now. It is the end of this podcast. I thank you for listening. This podcast will be going up as well onto SoundCloud and to iTunes, and I'm going to look into, where else podcasts actually go. So if you have a suggestion or a service that you use, please let me know, and I will make sure to get it up there as well. But once again, I thank you for listening, and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more Blah Freakin Blah. See you guys next time.